Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. I hope that everybody is having a blessed evening or a great day, whichever and whenever you choose to watch this video. Regardless, I hope that you all are staying warm and snuggled up and enjoying your time each day with your family and your loved ones. And I know I'm looking forward to spring weather because I can't stand this cold anymore. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into the late night tip. So, tonight's late night tip is I free myself from pessimistic thoughts. Now, I know you or me or we know somebody who is guilty of this. We are all guilty of making this choice in our life. And it comes with the surroundings, the environment, or situations that we go through. I honestly feel like that it takes less energy and it's a lot easier to think negative than it is to be positive, especially whenever you're around negative people or you're going through hard times and trials in life. So, yeah, it's just it's hard to refrain from thinking like that when you have those type of people in your life, or if you don't have that strong self-esteem or confidence in yourself to make a better lifestyle for yourself. That's why I think it's very important to speak affirmations daily in your life, because I feel like that's just one step to push you closer to steering away from those negative thoughts. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. Like, I don't expect myself or anybody else to just completely stop thinking negative, because it happens. It's life where we go through the emotions and the roller coaster of life, and just whatever the situation might be, we get caught up in our feelings and our emotions, and we can't help but be pessimistic about certain situations. So, this is just kind of like a guide to free yourself from those pessimistic thoughts, and that it's okay that if you do think those, but it's also okay and it's even better to be optimistic, which is the complete opposite. So where it says good living in the making, I think that it's important to be able to surround yourself with good people, good, things that make you feel good, things that, you know, that look good to your eye. And I'm not meaning that in like a high, fancy, materialistic way, but just like things that you want to surround yourself and surround your environment and your daily living with, just things that make you feel good. And I think that if you surround yourself with positive things and positive living, then you'll refrain from pessimistic thoughts, because you'll believe in yourself a little bit more whenever you have positive things around you. It's almost like the art of manifestation. That'll be a topic for another time, but it's like what you're putting out, not even if you're not speaking it out loud, what you think has a big advantage on what you get in return as well. So if you're thinking negative and pessimistic thoughts, more than likely you're going to attract that in your life in some shape or form, whether it be a negative situation or a negative person. So you have to be mindful about where you're allowing your mind to go. For example, this is something that I have worked through on the years, and I think that it has a lot to do with my anxiety. I let my anxiety get the best of me, and I start thinking all these crazy things or overthinking, situations that might not even be the legit reality of what's going on. But the first thought that comes to my head that's negative, it's like I automatically try to apologize to myself or forgive myself for even thinking that way. And then I try to change the subject in my mind mentally. Or if I accidentally say something out loud that's pessimistic, then I might try to apologize to the person around me, and then, kind of reword what it was I was saying to not sound so negative, because I think it's important to also examine our surroundings and our environment, because we may be going through some things and we may be thinking negatively. It can also affect the outcome of how it works in another person's day or lifestyle. So that's another thing to be mindful of, is somebody might be carrying on with their day, and you don't know what they're going through, and then you all of a sudden quick to think something negative or bad, and it affects them in a way that you wouldn't even understand or know unless they told you. So it's just something to be mindful of. But again, surround yourself with good things, positive things, because you are, again, building a foundation for what is to come in your future. I'm been trying to work heavily on not worrying about what I've did in my past, the bad things I've did or the mistakes I've made, and I've tried not to focus so much on what is to come of my future. I just try to live in the present day and who I am and how I act on a daily basis, so therefore I can bring about a better day whenever I wake up the next day. It's just living in the moment and making sure that I'm not setting a bad example for the people around me or my children in a pessimistic frame of mind. Um, and I know that a lot of people seem to think that it's like when you get older, you can either go one of two ways. You can grow old and take life a lot seriously, and you're no fun no more. Like, I've met a variety of different, senior citizens and elderly people, and you've got some that are just the most adorable, cutest little people, and they, want to just tell you about the good old times, and they give you the best advice, and they love on you, and they're so sweet. And then you have some that are like so mean and senile, and like, don't want anybody around them, and they're just, ball humbugs, and it's just they just don't like people, or they don't like being in certain places. And I think that is a prime example of optimistic and pessimistic people and how they grow up and how they age in life. So, as this says, bolder, not older, you want to live with the optimistic frame of mind that anything is possible, instead of just growing old and letting life pass you by. And then by the time you know it, you're 70, if not plus years older, and you're mad at the world. Like, I do not want to be, in my 70s or 80s, if or older, and be mad at my life or the people around me. Like, I want to be honorable that I was able to live that long, and be able to be an influence to people around me. Give me just a minute, guys. Alright, sorry about that. I had to turn on a different light because my battery was getting low and no longer was providing a flash for recording this. So we're just going off of my ceiling light right now. If you can't see it very well, I apologize. Hopefully, might just, I'll come back in just a few minutes after my phone finishes charging. Bear with me, guys. Alright, let's try this again. Sorry, you all. I know that, like, it wasn't, like, a time difference for you all watching this, but, my focus seems to be a little bit out. So, I apologize for that. Yeah, definitely have to, sorry. Okay. So, alright, I left off with, give growing older and not wanting to be mad at the world and be pessimistic. So, um, again, I think that has a lot to do with just accepting life for what it is, and also being able to learn how to balance our light and our dark in our lives. Stress less, communicate with life in balance. I think it's important to be able to balance our foundation and just the struggles that we go through on a regular. I feel like that if we don't work through our trials and the things that stress us out in a healthy way, then it can cause unhealthy, toxic patterns and unhealthy people in our circle. Just an altogether, just it again, it brings on that negative aspect that we are trying to steer away from, and that steers us away from living an optimistic life. Living the bright side of things. Knowing that whatever may happen, it's like waking up and being like, okay, yeah, I had a bad day yesterday, and it's all right. I'm gonna live today, and today's gonna be better. Like, instead of being like, oh, yesterday was shitty, I'm just gonna have a shitty day. F this person, f everybody. Like, I hope this happens and this happens, but like in a negative way. Like, more than likely, you putting that type of energy out of yourself is bringing that to you. So I think deep down inside, no matter what pessimistic people say, they want a brighter day and outlook, but it's just they don't have that balanced mind to be able to believe that things can be better, because as long as they keep being negative, they're just bringing negative to themselves. And same for you or me. If we become pessimistic, just for a day or a couple of hours, like, more than likely, it's just going to ruin the rest of the day. And I think that nobody really wants that. I just think it's a manner of what we acknowledge within our lives without people knowing it or not. And then also, lastly, I do want to add that, you know, I think that if it wasn't for me looking on the brighter side of things and realizing that I am blessed and grateful for everything that I have been through and that I have had, and the people that I've came across, and no matter the hurt or the joys that I've experienced, overall they were really great things, and they were there in my life, or still are in my life, to grow with me. And some things aren't meant to stay, and some things aren't meant to be in your life forever, and that's okay. And that's been, like, something I've had to battle with, like, when it comes to family relationships or things that I've worked really hard for. It's like I try to stay away from that negative mind frame that, if I lose this or I lose that, then everything's just going to mess up. Nothing's going to turn out right. Like, I don't like thinking like that. And I definitely, because I have little ones that are around me on a daily basis, I don't like them seeing that type of attitude from me, because, as parents and as grown ups, we want our children and our youth to have somebody to look up to or to influence them, that it's okay to have our bad days, but it's also even better to have good days and to be proud of where we are and what we have, and to not be so down on ourselves and the next person. Like, we want to be able to be better than we was yesterday and to grow from our trials. And that's just one thing that I think is very important whenever you're just parenting your children in general. So, that's, again, surround yourself with good people, good things. It doesn't have to, you don't have to provide yourself an extravagant life, because I'm definitely one of those people that I don't feel like money brings you happiness. I feel like a good health and, a healthy mental health is more important than anything else that you could possibly have in your life, because without a great and stable mental health, then you can't really make the rest of your life function in a healthy way. So, yeah. So I hope that that was a little bit helpful for each and every one of you. If you were brought to this message, then this affirmation was for you. I hope everybody has a blessed and a beautiful evening or a great day, whichever, whenever you choose to watch this. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now for future videos. Again, I do have a couple of more projects that I'm working on this YouTube channel, so the subjects range in different varieties. So, you might find a little bit of something here and a little bit of something there. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll talk to y'all later. Good night.